Hello, and welcome to the John Muir College webinar designed for incoming freshman students who will be enrolling in their fall quarter courses in a few weeks. During this presentation, you can write in and ask general questions about enrollment in Muir College academic advising. We will answer your questions after the presentation is over. If you have questions about your personal course enrollment, you will have the opportunity to ask these beginning August 19th through e-advising on the new student site. Also, if you have any specific questions regarding financial aid, residential life, and so forth, we ask you direct your questions to these offices as they are the experts in the respective areas. This presentation will focus on fall quarter enrollment and will be recorded to be posted on the Muir College website at a later date. You will receive an email with details on the location so you can review it later on if needed. My name's Kathy and I'm the Assistant Dean of Academic Advising, and with me we have two of our senior academic advisors.
Hello everyone, my name is Joseph.
Hi everyone, my name is Cindy and we are excited to be with you all today.
So let's get started with what we will be covering during the next few minutes. It's important that we are all on the same page. So the first thing we'll do is discuss some common terms to know. Then we'll introduce you to some valuable tools to help you with enrollment. These are the same items your advisors use when recommending your fall quarter courses. And finally, we'll show you what a typical fall quarter schedule recommendation will look like. Throughout the webinar, we will be using certain terms related to your academics here at Muir College. We will be going over what general education is in the context of Muir College, what we mean when we talk about sequences, what are units, what classifies as a course as an elective, and what are prerequisites, and placement exams in relationship to Muir College academics. Some of this verbiage may sound familiar, others may not, but we'll review them just to be sure we're all on the same page. So let's begin.
All right, so at Muir College, there are general education requirements known as GE that all freshman students must complete regardless of their major. Our Muir GE philosophy emphasizes breadth, depth, and flexibility. Breadth means that there are a variety of categories from which you gain knowledge that reflect the major academic divisions in the university. Depth means that each GE category consists of 3 courses from which you gain further knowledge about a particular subject. Flexibility means that each GE sequence has several options, and you choose which ones work best for you. Let's take a closer look at our GEs. You will need to complete 2 Muir College Writing Program courses called MCWP 40 and MCWP 50. We commonly refer to them as Muir 40 and Muir 50, but they are listed in the schedule of classes as MCWP 40 and MCWP 50. You will need to complete Muir 40 prior to taking Muir 50. In order to take Muir writing courses, you will first need to fulfill the entry-level writing requirement. You will also need to complete 1 sequence in social science. In addition, you will need to complete 1 sequence in math or natural science. We offer natural science sequences if you're not pursuing a degree in math, science, or engineering, so there are plenty of options from which to select. Finally, you will also need to complete 2 sequences out of the 3 following areas: fine arts, humanities, or foreign language. Muir College is unique in that we do not require foreign language for our GE requirements. If you do not wish to complete a sequence in foreign language, you will need to complete the fine arts and humanities sequences. A sequence is a set of 3 classes students have to complete as part of their GEs. Some of our GE sequences require that the courses are taken in order, as the course material will build upon what was previously taught. Examples include math and science courses, as well as foreign language courses. On the other hand, some of our GE sequences offer a variety of courses from which you complete 3 courses in no specific order. Examples include the political science or psychology courses from the social sciences requirement. Finally, some of our GE sequences will have a required course you must complete, while you get to choose the remaining 2 courses from a variety. Examples include theater or music traditions sequences from the fine arts requirement. We'll show you an example in a few moments. For a complete list of GE sequences and approved courses, please visit the Muir Advising website.
Okay, so let's talk about what an elective is. An elective is a course that does not directly apply towards a specific general education major or minor requirement. These are generally classes taken out of interest in which students may earn units that are applied to their overall total number of units needed to graduate. Speaking of units, units are the values attached to each course, which determines the number of credits earned upon passing the class. The number of units sometimes vary. A good number of courses offered here at UCSD are 4 units, but courses may actually range anywhere between 1 unit or even up to 6 units, depending on what you take. It's important to monitor the number of units you take per quarter because it determines if you have full-time student status and is also used as eligibility for scholarships, financial aid, and so forth. UC San Diego also requires that you complete a certain number of units in order to graduate.
In terms of academics, prerequisites are certain requirements that need to be met in order to be eligible to take certain courses. They are designed to make sure that you are prepared and equipped with the correct knowledge base before advancing in a particular area of study. Prerequisites can either be fulfilled by taking a specified course or by taking a placement exam. Placement exams are tests students have to take to be placed into a certain course level. Some placement exams will be mandatory if you haven't already fulfilled course prerequisites, while others can be optional. Your results from the placement exams will indicate which courses you are placed into, so that is the course that you enroll. We will discuss the different types of placement exams later on during our webinar.
So now that we've gone over some of the terminology that we will be using, let's take some time to go over some tools that you may find useful when considering what courses to take. These are the same tools that we as advisors consider and review when developing your fall quarter recommendations, which will be available to you to view on August 16th. We'll be going over information regarding your general education using the AP and IB chart, major facts, four-year plans, and placement exams that you may or may not need to take. So let's continue.
All right, so here's a screenshot of the Muir Advising website that lists your degree requirements, including the different GE sequences and approved courses for each sequence. You can take different courses to explore your interests in our GE sequences. For example, within our social science sequence, you can take a psychology course, then try a sociology course, then try a political science course. However, to fulfill a GE sequence, you will need to complete 3 courses from the same subject. Using our same example, this means your 3 courses must be all psychology courses, or all sociology courses, or all political science courses. You cannot mix and match different subjects or courses, even if they are part of the same sequence. As a reminder, some sequences require courses to be taken in sequential order, such as math, science, and foreign language courses, since the material builds upon what was previously taught. Other sequences offer flexibility and variety, so you will need to complete 3 courses from the approved options. We also find that the majority of students have taken AP and IB work prior to starting at UCSD. There are a few ways to find these online charts, and we have the direct links posted here, but if for some reason you don't remember this long link, just Google AP or IB charts at UCSD. So let's go over some key concepts to consider when reading this chart. First, it's important to note that UCSD will give you credit for all AP exams that you score a 3 or higher. Now, let's talk about course credit. We'll use the Spanish literature exam in this AP chart as an example. Notice that next to the word Spanish, there is the number 8. This number represents the amount of units you will receive if your score is a 3 or higher on this exam. The yellow highlighted box under UCSD course exemptions shows the different scores and course credit received. For example, if you received a score of 4 on this exam, you have completed LTSP 2B at UCSD. Therefore, you should not enroll in this class at UCSD. If you would like to take a Spanish literature course at UCSD, you will need to take LTSP 2C, which is the next course in the sequence. Since you're getting credit for a specific course at UCSD, we refer to this as getting course credit. I would also like to point out that the green arrow on the screen shows the John Muir College column and gives you specifics on how this AP exam will help you clear Muir College GEs. If you received a score of 3 or higher on this exam, Muir College will use the 8 units as equivalent to 2 courses that will be applied in the foreign language GE sequence. The good news is that you only need 1 more course to clear the foreign language GE sequence. If we go back to the example of you receiving a score of 4 on this exam, then you would only need to take LTSP 2C to clear the foreign language GE sequence.
So there are situations where a student will score 3 or higher in an AP exam, but you will not receive course credit. Instead, you'll receive elective credit. Let's look at the statistics exam at the bottom of this page. We see that a score of 3 or higher gives students 4 units towards their degree. If we look at the UC San Diego course exemption column, it states the word none. All this means is that there isn't a specific course at UCSD that is cleared with this exam, but you'll still receive the 4 units towards units of credit towards your degree. Moving to the green arrow under John Muir College column, you see the word elective. This means that this course does not satisfy a GE requirement, but it still gives you elective credit towards your degree. Finally, there is duplication of credit. This means that you are enrolled at UCSD in a course where you have already received course credit. The university will remove credit and GPA at the end of the quarter, so you would be left with less units than you thought you had. Let's talk about this in terms of the math AP example on this chart. If you took the calculus AB exam with a score of 3, you will receive 4 units in course credit for math 10A. This means that you should enroll in math 10B, right? If you happen to enroll in math 10A, the university may not drop you from this class. So say you get an A grade throughout your quarter in this class, because it's, of course, a review of all your knowledge. Now, the bad part is that once your grade is posted for this class, the university will code the computer to remove your A grade as well as delete credit. Why, you ask? That's because you already received course credit for this class, so you should not receive duplicate credit for Math 10A. It's an obvious statement, but you should just avoid duplication of credit to ensure that you receive credit for all your classes. So, major facts. Now let's take a moment to go over some important pieces about majors. Every student at UC San Diego is here to get a degree in one or two fields of study of your own choosing. There are a number of majors to select from based on your interests and career goals, and each major has a different set of course requirements and number of units needed for completion. Although students have many options to select as their major, there are some majors that may require pre-screening if you were not admitted into it upon entering UCSD. These majors are what we refer to as the CAP majors. CAP majors limit the number of students that may enroll in their major. Currently, the CAP majors at UC San Diego are all biology majors, data science, economics, mathematics, physics, public health, and all of the engineering majors. If you are not in a CAP major and decide at some point that you would like to change your major to one that is capped, there is an application process and a set of prerequisites that you must complete for consideration. Each process is unique to the CAP major, so you will want to inquire for that specific department for more information about the application process. In our roles as college advisors, we provide you with a set of course recommendations prior to your first fall enrollment in a few weeks. These recommendations are based on what you indicated as your proposed major in your application. Certain courses, depending on your major, For example, when recommending if a student should take either the Math 10 series or the Math 20 series, we will recommend based on your major, as your major drives which math sequence is required for its curriculum. As mentioned, you will be receiving your course recommendations and will be enrolling in your fall quarter classes in a few weeks. To help plan for your course enrollment, we want to be sure that you are aware of a nifty tool at your disposal, and it's called the 4-year plans. If you go to plans.ucsd.edu, you can look up sample 4-year plans for many of the majors offered at UCSD. The sample plans were developed assuming that a student comes in with no units, no AP credit, or transfer required to starting UCSD. These also do not include planning courses to be taken during the summer. Use the sample plans as a guide to help you map out what courses you may want to enroll in for the upcoming quarters. These become particularly helpful for majors that have courses with prerequisites, such as our STEM majors, as well as those of you who are undeclared and may want to get an idea of what a curriculum may look like in a particular field of interest. In this screenshot, you see a 4-year plan for the major of economics. A typical first quarter for the economics majors without any credit include Economics 1, Math 10A or 20A, a GE course, and a writing course. This is a good example of taking note of prerequisites because Econ 1 or Economics 1 needs to be taken before you enroll in Econ 3, which is planned for the following quarter. Again, these plans were generated on the basis that a student does not have prior coursework credit coming into UCSD. If you do have credits, you can simply adjust the plan to match with what you already have earned. For example, if you took the AP Calculus exam and scored a 4, you will have already received credit for Math 10A or 20A. And you may enroll in Math 10B or 20B for your fall quarter instead.
So here we have 4 different types of placement exams offered on campus at UC San Diego. The Analytical Writing Placement Exam, also known as AWPE, WAPI, the Foreign Language Placement Exam, the Chemistry Placement Exam, and the Mathematics Placement Exam. Some of you might need to take these placement exams, but some of you might not. Let's take a closer look at each one. The Analytical Writing Placement Exam, also known as a WAPI or AWPE, is required if you have not already cleared the entry-level writing requirement known as ELWR via qualifying test scores or approved transfer coursework. You will take the Analytical Writing Placement Exam before the beginning of your first quarter at UC San Diego to determine whether you're ready to enroll in Muir 40. Your result on the Analytical Writing Placement Exam will indicate if you need to enroll in an Analytical Writing Program course listed as AWP, or if you have already cleared the entry-level writing requirement. Every Muir student needs to fulfill the entry-level writing requirement, ELWR, before they can enroll in Muir 40. The Analytical Writing Placement Exam can only be taken one time. You may wish to take the online Foreign Language Placement Exam if you have prior knowledge of a language other than English that you would like to study further. You can also take this exam if you did not receive qualifying scores on your AP or IB exams in that particular language and wish to continue studying the same language. Your results from the Foreign Language Placement Exam will indicate which course and level you have been placed into, so that is what you will enroll in. The Foreign Language Placement Exam is not a proficiency test, so you cannot test out of a language. The Chemistry Placement Exam is not required and designed to measure your preparedness for beginning general introductory courses in chemistry at UCSD. Your results from the Chemistry Placement Exam are used for advising purposes only and will not become part of your permanent record. For the Math Placement Exam, you will need to take it if you have not met a math course prerequisite for pre-calculus or first quarter calculus. You can take this exam for free on campus at UCSD or pay a small fee to take it online.
And for those of you who've already noticed, yes, ironically enough, we misspelled the word writing here, but don't you worry, we'll be changing it in the next couple weeks. So here's the moment you've been waiting for. Throughout this presentation, you have probably been wondering, what will I be recommended for fall quarter? Well, we'll let you know in the next slide when you will see your individual recommendation. However, I want to share this example schedule that shows what the majority of first-year Muir students will take. First, you will be recommended a writing class based on your placement. The next 3 courses will be determined by your major plan. Keep in mind that advisors will read the academic information that you have sent through the new student site. That's where we will note if you submitted a proposed major. This is the major other than the one you declared, and if you mentioned that you would like to pursue a pre-health or pre-med option. This will also have some optional courses that are highlighted, recommended, and highly recommended, such as freshman seminars and first-year experience. As you can see, a typical academic class will be 4 units, but there are cases where we have a 1-unit or 2-unit class. Classes with 1 or 2 unit values will not focus as much on homework. Rather, they focus on content discussed in the classroom. Once you view your individual course recommendations, there will be a link that takes you to the details about these classes. For now, we just wanted to share that most students will take 16 academic units plus a few optional 1 or 2 unit classes. Okay, so now we've made it to the important date section, so pay attention. As you can see, Friday, August 16th is the date that you should be adding to your calendar, like right now. This is the date that you will return to the new student site and view your individual course recommendations for fall quarter. This is what it looks like. We will have comments that relate to each class. We may even add some extra information in the form of links that are important, especially if you've noted that you have an interest in pre-health or pre-med, and maybe if you've decided that you are undeclared. We'll be giving you something to explore prior to starting UCSD.
And here we have some more important dates, so be sure to add these to your calendars. Starting Monday, August 5th, you can go to tritonlink.ucsd.edu to view your individual enrollment time. This is the date and time that you will enroll in your fall classes. Do not miss this date and time because you will be missing out on enrolling for school. We talked about the important course recommendations date on Friday, August 16th, so hopefully it's already in your calendar. Let's say that you viewed your course recommendations and you still have comments, questions, or concerns prior to your enrollment date. Well, starting Monday, August 19th, you can send a question to an advisor. Yes, you can contact us from the comfort of your own home, the beach, the pool. You get what I'm trying to say, right? Your advisors are available to answer online questions. Just go to the new student site starting August 19th, select Ask a Question, then submit your question. One thing I'd like to note is that you may send your questions at 2 a.m., but your advisors will answer during our regular business hours, which are Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. till 4 p.m. As you can see, new students will be enrolling the week of August 28th through September 2nd, so there's plenty of time to ask questions. So, just to review, your next steps are, starting August 5th, log on to tritonlink.ucsd.edu to view your individual enrollment time. On August 16th, go to the new student site to view your counselor-recommended fall quarter schedule. If you have any questions, starting August 19th, you can use online advising by going to the new student site. And finally, don't forget to set an alarm for your individual enrollment date and time the week of August 28th through September 2nd.